Welcome back, everybody. What a beautiful, glorious day we have today. The sun's shining. And I says, let's make a quick video before we get the other. We're not going to make the landing in this video, but I'll show you what we got going on. And then maybe the next video we'll get to dozing. Maybe I'll not delete videos before I post them on YouTube so that you guys can see what I'm doing. The last landing I made got all messed up because I deleted the video that kind of put it all together. Yada, yada, yada. So, he's cutting back in there right now. This is the landing for the next job. Obviously, we're doing a long and skinny one here. So the slasher is going to be set up back there. Chipper will be set up here. And then the truckers are going to have some work pulling up into there and backing up. So I got to knock this down, make it all work good. So, some of the stumps here are just, this is a dozer video. I don't know how it's going to go. I got the drone. I'd love to get a drone video. I don't know what'll happen because I have a lot of work to do. And the last landing I built, I was pushing out small trees, you know, like, and these ones I kind of got some big nasties. So I would explain what exactly is going on. We got an oak clump stump here. Nasty garbage, like so we've had a couple real good comments, and I directed the one guy to the video that I already did a video on, do we replant? And the answer is no, we don't replant at all. And like, we just showed up to the perfect job to explain that, and I'll do that in a second. The second question was, when we did the last job, we were chipping all that small aspen, and somebody made the comment as to if we would have waited 3 or 4 years, we would have got twice the amount of wood out of there and the same amount of work. That's not necessarily true. That's a stunted growth tree, which is why the landowner wanted us to cut down, because it hasn't grown at all in the last 10 years. That was actually that was a farm field, pasture field that grew up in that area. So therefore, the best thing for that would be to cut it right now because it hasn't grown, it's stunted. Let it regrow, everything will be perfect. So we're paying money for the timber. All the timber that we put out of here on this channel, we're paying for. So it's based on what the size it is now. So it is what it is. But therefore, none of that was growing. So landowner wanted it cut, so we're taking it out of there. Now on this particular job, there's a great prime example. They're everywhere. But I was going to show you, somebody got confused at what clumps were. And there's a perfect example right here of what we call a clump. There's all these oaks are clump oak. And what a clump oak, what we call them, this is the perfect example of what we have here. Now, this goes back to the question of, do we replant? We don't replant. Everything that we cut grows back up naturally. And the video out there, no, we do not replant. That video actually shows regrowth from the jobs that we've cut. Now, these little things here are just nothing but that just kills our trees. Them guys just kill our trees. So I hate, they're everywhere. It's a bad year for them. You see them all over? Just nasty buggers. So, I mean, look at them. All they're doing is just killing. So, what you have here was they cut down a tree. And the stump that was left was right there in the middle. And then these trees grew out from the stump. So, this is like the most perfect scenario that you can see of how it works. There was a tree here, we cut it, and all these trees grew up around it. That's what we call a clump maple, or clump maple. That's a clump oak, but that's what we call a clump. It is like that. And then there's another one. You had your stump here, and this one, actually this side probably died off. So it actually will start, the clumps will start off as a bunch of trees. And here's another example of how it works. So you'll have multiple trees grow off the stump. but then only the strong survive. So like obviously this one's going to fall off and dead, that limb, and then you'll have just a double there. So that's kind of how it works. It's a bunch of them, and then they slowly die off and turn into, you know, sometimes they can get 3-4 of them out like that, you know. But just explaining a little bit of what we do out here. But these clump stumps are going to be a nightmare. I can tell you that right now. But you can see all the different clumps through there. He's already went around and cut all the popple out of there. And on this side, he hasn't cut the popple out of there yet. So, yeah, I got to go through here and work this up. It's going to be a nightmare popping all these things because they're big stumps. I can tell you that. That's going to take me a minute. So I got to get to work. But yeah, those were the couple comments I had. And the aspen grows out differently than the oak does. The suckers sprout up. The aspen actually grows out of the roots system, and the suckers pop up out of the roots and turn into trees. So you don't have the clump in the aspen. That's kind of how it works. So that's why you got kind of an aspen spread all over. There's not any clumps in there because that's a nice aspen patch in there. And then you get into areas like this, and you get into some oak where it was cut before, and you kind of have some clumps. But kind of a little idea of what we're dealing with. Maybe that helped you guys out a little bit. Maple's the same way with the clumps, but there's some nice single maple in here kicking around, I see. But there are some nice tall popple here too. Popple, aspen, that's just what we call it. Loggers talk differently about the same stuff. That's kind of how it works. But yeah, there's a clump of oak right there. See how there's one dead one that's about ready to die off? Yep, they die off and then they turn into better trees. That's kind of how every clump is. You got dead ones right there. They're dying. But there's some nice popples. So here's how it works with this. When we cut down that popple tree and this popple tree, and yeah, that popple tree, the sprouts or the suckers will actually grow up all around it. You cut down that one popple tree and the stump, the root system will grow 20 suckers off of it. So you can actually cut down, 3 trees, you'll have 30, 40, 50, 60 trees growing in this area of popple with that one and that one. And so you just they grow up differently, and it's the exact same thing all over again. You have a whole bunch of them grow up, and then they slowly thin themselves. So that one did not survive. The canopy's kind of thick. So the wood thins itself. There's another dead one. And that's just how it works. So the idea that if you can leave these trees for another 100 years, they would be big, beautiful trees, is just not true. The life expectancy on these aren't like that. So, yeah, you can't leave that tree. Because you leave it stand for a while, they just don't have a long life expectancy. But, yeah, you can see where she broke off. She's dead. And, yeah, just dead trees all over, But we're going to come in here and do some work. A little tree lesson today, maybe help you guys understand a little more what we do. Because it's really hard to explain because I just think that everybody already knows it. And not everybody does. But ugly, nasty beech tree. It would be good for nothing. But another nasty one back there. Right here. I know it works. Yeah, we just cut down that one. There'll be 20 trees grow from that stump. And then they'll slowly thin themselves out, because that's what happens. The strong ones will grow, and then these ones just eventually, if they don't catch up and can't get sunlight, they just start to die. So, and that's why they grow nice and tall in this area, because they're trying to get to sunlight. This little guy here, he's working hard to get up there to get above the canopy. So no sunlight, they die. And that's why these clumps take up so much. There's not a lot of sunlight getting down in here. So, but it'll look nice when we're done. We'll come back and we'll do some more videos in here once we get everything in here. But yeah, there's just dead stuff everywhere. This is just like natural stuff. You know what I mean? It's like everyday stuff for us, but a lot of people don't understand what we're doing. So this will all grow back up and be nice and thick and healthy, be beautiful. We'll leave some, if these get left, these will be nice mature oak trees, and the aspen will be ready to harvest again, and you can harvest them together and get your nice logs out of the oak and take out your aspen again in another 40 years. And it'll be beautiful again. You know what I mean? And you could do it like that forever. So, I had somebody ask me the other day, you guys ever run out of wood? Like, is all the wood's gone? It's like, no. Do your research. Do your research. The forest is growing faster than we can harvest it. So, anywho, thanks for watching. I gotta get to work. Yeah. Here we go.